Hello, my friends. So today I am doing a little bit of prep work for a salad that we're going to have for dinner tomorrow night. I want to get the salad dressing all made, and I am going to get that in the fridge so that it's ready for tomorrow. So I'm going to actually put the dressing and the salad video together, but for right now, for me, in this moment, it is some prep work. So my name is Christy with Help for Your Journey, where my goal is to encourage and inspire you in your trim, healthy mama lifestyle. Okay, so couple of things. First of all, I just have to show you the super cool things that I just got from Pampered Chef. I had a party, a virtual party, and I was able to order all sorts of things. So I need some ideas on what to make using these new things that I have. So this is one of those little like bundt cake pans. This I think is called a bar pan. So that has 8. Then I have like a mini brownie pan and then a bigger brownie pan. I went a little overboard on this stuff, you guys. So if you have any recipes that you love where I could use some of these new toys that I have, leave it in the comments below. That would be awesome. Okay, so a couple of things I want to talk about with this dressing. First of all, the name of the salad that I'm going to be making tomorrow is called Kale Salad with Cranberries. The biggest reason I chose this recipe is because a couple of days ago, I did a video where I did all the things butternut squash: how to cook it, how to peel it, how to eat the peel, how to roast the seeds, how to cut it up. And I roasted 4 cups of butternut squash. And so I'm going to be making a salad that is going to have that in it. It's got some dried cranberries, it's got some pomegranate seeds, it's got some feta cheese, and it has this amazing balsamic dressing. Now, here is the thing. This salad is going to be an E salad. And if you do not know what I mean by E, I'm going to link a playlist in the description box that lets you know the basics for Trim Healthy Mama, which is basically that we're separating fats and carbs. So in an E meal, we need to keep the fat low. This dressing calls for 1/4 of a cup of extra virgin olive oil. Well, if you've watched some of my videos in the past, you may know that my husband and I ate a vegan diet for a year. And in that vegan diet, it was very strict what we did. We ate no flour, no sugar, no oil, and no salt for like a year. And so while I'm really glad that I don't eat that way anymore, I did learn some pretty cool tricks along the way. One of the things that I learned is a great substitute for olive oil or any kind of oil in a salad dressing, and that is called Aquafaba. Are you like thinking, Christy, what in the world is Aquafaba? It's basically the liquid in a can of beans, usually chickpeas, aka garbanzo beans, or it could be like even Great Northern beans, cannellini beans. I wouldn't say so much black beans, although I guess you probably could. I just think they kind of have more of a distinctive flavor to them, whereas a chickpea or like a white bean is very neutral in flavor. So the liquid in a can of beans, or if you make your own beans from dried beans, like in your Instant Pot or on the stovetop, the liquid from that is called Aquafaba, and it is a great oil replacement in dressing. So I want to show you what I am going to do to make this dressing, and I'm just going to mix it up in a jar because then I can just shake it and be ready to go. So this is a recipe from, it's called littlebroken.com, and I'm going to double this dressing recipe. So the original recipe calls for 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil. So look at these measuring cups, you guys. They're so cool. They have all the measurements inside, and this was Pampered Chef too. It came with like 4 different ones, all the way tiny, that I think is 1/4 cup total, to 4 cups total. So I'm really excited about them. So I have half a cup of Aquafaba since I'm doubling. I'm just gonna put that in. I need 4 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar. So just half of that for the recipe. So, oh yeah, here's the little one. Look, isn't it cute? So this is balsamic vinegar. And you guys, if you are buying that balsamic vinegar that you can just get like at the grocery store, you're missing out. If you can find a place where you can get some quality balsamic vinegar, it is so worth it. You should be able to taste it and it's not gross. Like, it's actually delicious when you just taste a little bit of it. And some of these balsamic vinegar shops that you can go into will actually give you, they'll have like little cups. I don't know, since you know what happened, could be different now, but it used to be that you could go in and they have all these little cups and you could just do like a little spout and a little bit of the balsamic vinegar would come out. There were all different kinds of flavors and then you would just like taste it a little bit. Oh, it's so good. So what I have here is an 18-year aged balsamic vinegar and it's delicious. So I'm gonna add this to my Aquafaba. Then I'm gonna do a couple tablespoons. It calls for honey or pure maple syrup. I'm actually gonna use some of this Lakanto sugar-free syrup. I know that this is not the best choice to do, but I don't wanna use honey or real maple syrup, so I'm just gonna use this. I'm actually not even sure if I have like enough in here. Oh yeah, I do. I've got some salt and pepper. It just says to taste. And so I'm just kind of going a little bit on the light side. Remember, you can always add more, but once you put it in, can't take it away. So be careful with that. And then I'm gonna do 2 teaspoons of Dijon mustard. That's it, guys. That's it for this dressing. So then I'm just gonna put this on. Shake it up really good. I'm actually gonna grab a little spoon and I'm just gonna do a little taste. This actually made, I probably could have gotten away with just not doubling the recipe, but too late. My husband will eat this, or I'll eat some. I think I'm gonna add just a titch more salt. A titch. You like my exact measurements? And I think it should be pretty good to go. So I'm gonna stick that in my fridge. We're gonna use that tomorrow. The recipe does not call for garbanzo beans in this salad, but because I opened up this can to get the liquid out, I'm just gonna go ahead and add the chickpeas to the salad. That'll be a good source of protein. It does have some feta cheese, which I bought fat-free feta. No, I didn't. I bought low-fat feta. They didn't have any fat-free because we're watching our fat, because this is gonna be an e-meal. So we can talk more about the salad tomorrow when I actually go to make it, but I just wanted to show you how to do this dressing. And one other thing that I did want to mention, I heard somebody say this and I thought it was so good. You guys know that I talk about eating leftovers all the time. If you are not eating your leftovers, you are throwing money out the window. And right now, all of us could use some extra help with our grocery budget. This is what it said. Start thinking of leftovers as a meal prep. And I just was like, oh my gosh, I love that. That is genius. Like, I think the word leftovers has like a negative connotation to a lot of people, whether it's a childhood thing or just whatever. If you can think of your leftovers as a meal prep, something to help you get ahead in the next day or two. And here's the thing, I think sometimes people think that when you're eating leftovers, that you have to heat up the food in the exact same way that you already had it. And that can be boring. Like, who wants to eat the same thing day after day after day? So use your leftovers as just a foundation. Go on Pinterest, go on a website like allrecipes.com where you can plug in the ingredients that you have and it'll give you recipes using those ingredients. Mix it up, get creative. You don't have to have the same things every day. You can turn those leftover ingredients into a brand new dinner. And if you didn't say anything to your family, they would never know that you're even having leftovers. So just let's work on changing our mindset. Leftovers is meal prep. What can you do today to make things easier for your future self? So that is what I have for today, guys, and I will see you back when I go to make the salad. Bye for now. Hello, my friends. So I am back to make the kale salad, and I hope that this isn't too dark. I felt like I was getting a weird glare off of the overhead lights, so I turned them off. So what you just saw was me making the dressing. And for me, actually, that was yesterday, but I wanted to get it made and get it in the fridge so that I had less I had to do today. So now I'm ready to put this salad together. So what I did a few minutes ago was I took the kale and I put some of the dressing on it, and I kind of got in there with my hands and I massaged that kale. You know, I like kale. I like it raw. I like it cooked. I think part of what I like about it is that it's hearty. You know, like I like spinach too, but when you have spinach, it can go bad so fast in the fridge. Like you get one little leaf that starts to get gross, and before you know it, all of it's bad. Kale is just, it's not really like that. It'll last in the fridge and it's just not going bad in a day. But because of that, when you go to have it raw, it can be a little bit, I don't know, I'm not sure how to word it, a little bit more, I'm gonna say rough, but that's not really the word I want. Anyway, when you put the dressing on the kale and massage it in there, it kind of starts softening the kale up so that it is easier to eat. So I did that a few minutes ago. This was the balsamic vinegar dressing that I made with the Aquafaba that you're totally gonna try, right? So I've got my kale, and then here are some of the other ingredients that I have. I have my butternut squash. A couple of videos ago, I showed how to peel, cook, roast, cut the seeds, everything, butternut squash. So that's partly why I chose this recipe, because I wanted to use this up. So I am going to add, this is just my roasted butternut squash. I just thought of something. I decided to add two things that the recipe did not call for. One is some chickpeas, because I opened up that can of chickpeas for the Aquafaba for the dressing. And so I'm not doing a lot. I'm just doing a quarter of a cup. So I'm putting some chickpeas in. And then I also decided to do a quarter of a cup of quinoa. So now I've got just some protein in this salad, and it's just gonna be a lot more filling. So one thing, this is an E salad, and if you don't know what I'm talking about when I say E, I'm gonna put a playlist in the description box that will explain to you about Trim Healthy Mama and how the plan works, and then that will all make sense to you. But because this is an E meal, we need to keep our fat at 5 grams or less. So the recipe calls for feta cheese. I bought reduced fat. I would have gotten fat-free if they had it, but they didn't have it. I got reduced fat, so in 1/4 of a cup, there are 3 grams of fat. I decided to only use 1/8 of a cup on my salad, and I actually took it and just cut it up so that I could get it, you know, as many bites as possible with feta cheese in it because it's delicious. And so I am gonna add my feta, and I think it's gonna work out pretty good. I know 1/8 of a cup isn't that much, but I think it's gonna actually be plenty. Another thing that the recipe calls for is dried cranberries. Now, do you think that I could find dried cranberries that didn't have added sugar? No. The best I could find was 50% less sugar, but it still had sugar. So what I did was I actually counted out 10 of them and I cut them up into little tiny pieces. I'm just trying to follow the recipe as is. Really, you might not need these so much because it also calls for pomegranate arils. Is that how you say it? So I don't know that I've ever really had one of these before. I'm gonna try. Oh, that was very sour. Okay. So I don't think I want like a ton of these. So I'm just gonna do like a little sprinkling. Okay. So, okay. The last thing that I'm going to put on are the roasted butternut squash seeds from the other video. These seeds are so good, you guys. They actually taste like popcorn. I know that's so crazy, but the recipe calls for pumpkin seeds. And so I thought, oh, this will be perfect. We'll use these butternut squash seeds. This is going to be another source of fat though. We've got the feta cheese that's fat, and we've got fat in these seeds. So I'm only going to take a few and I am just going to sprinkle them on top. And then that's all I'm going to do. So I think I'm going to add, now that I've added all of these goodies on top, I think I'm going to put a little more dressing on because I just think that it's going to need it after all of these additions. And then let me grab my fork. Well, let me show you this. Look at that. That is like fall in a bowl right there. That is going to be so delicious. This would be good with chicken. I'm not a tuna fan, so I'm not going to really say anything about that. Maybe even salmon would probably be good on here. So you definitely got some options if you feel like you want to add additional protein. I've got the quinoa and the chickpeas for protein, so I feel like I'm pretty good with this, and a little bit in the seeds. So that's what we've got today for our dinner. So I will link this recipe in the description box for you. If you found value in this video, if you could give it a like, I would really appreciate it. And even more, if you could subscribe to my channel, that would be amazing. It just lets YouTube know that there are people out there who are interested in this kind of content. So I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.